scary. I just went through so many emotions right now.
Literally so cute. Bitch, what?
The only vow he'll keep, because he won't be making marriage vows.
Lauren Roberts, why would you do this to me?
Mental gymnastics about this family tree that's going on.
I have no words. What just happened?
Hi everybody, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a reading vlog for Fearless by Lauren Roberts. You already know, if you've been watching some of my videos, you know I love Powerless. So I'm so excited to read the very last book in the trilogy. If Kai dies or if Paedyn and Kit actually get married, I'm gonna be so pissed. I'm gonna be so mad. I love Kai and Paedyn together so much. I just love them as a couple. I think they're literally so cute. Their banter is so good, the tension's so good between them. Like, they already know that they love each other now, but now she's betrothed to his brother. Like, that just really kills the mood here, Kit. Thank you so much for ruining literally everything. I'm gonna probably get this book slowly because I'm in school. I'm really busy. I know I say that literally every time. It's just a lot of work and it's just so much busy work and it's so time consuming. All I want to do is just sit here and read this. Like, I have little parts of my day where I can sit and read like a chapter, but I want to just sit down and dedicate time to reading this. Now that I'm filming this, hopefully I can really lock in when I do have time. But yeah, if you guys want to go see my Powerless or Reckless reading vlogs, they're up on my channel if you guys want to go see those, and you can follow along with this journey and end off the trilogy with me. It's just gonna feel so great to finally have an ending to this. I just want to see them get together. You know, and like not have anything be in the way, because there's always an issue literally every single time. There will be spoilers in this video, but I think it'll be okay because I'm probably gonna upload this video late. I'm probably gonna finish this book late, so everyone who's gonna watch this anyway will already know what happened. So I'm not really spoiling anything, am I? I don't think so. Let's just get into the vlog. I've already read a little bit, so I can kind of tell you guys what's been going on. Fearless picks up exactly where Reckless leaves off. You know, tensions are high. Kit just proposed to her in front of literally everybody, all of the court people. Kai's over there freaking out in the corner. Paedyn's flipping out because she doesn't want to marry him. You know, her and Kai just had their moment in the fields. It's a whole thing. When Paedyn gets escorted out of the room, everyone's flipping out. No one's happy about it. Basically, the whole reason why Kit is saying that they need to get married is because Callum over here, remember Callum? Yeah, the like rebellion leader. He's been whispering thoughts in his ear. They've been chit-chatting because he was a prisoner and now he wanted to hear him out. Kit has turned a new leaf, especially with Callum's input. They need to reunite Ilya with elites and ordinaries because their nation is not thriving. They're kind of doing poorly. No one wants to trade with them. No one from outside countries wants to work with Ilya because they're so divided as their own country. So that looks really bad to everyone else. And so Kit's like, our only way to save our country is to reunite ordinaries and elites together to have us as a united front. And you know, the best way to do that is to have an ordinary, Paedyn, marry the king, Kit. And that's really just going to show all the other nations that they're strong and, you know, they're open to trade. You guys can trust us. Like, look, our people are one again. That's not really going to work out though, because literally every elite is known to hate ordinaries. In my mind, I think Callum is like low-key mind controlling Kit. Like, I know Kit wants to turn a new leaf and Paedyn kind of showed him that when she was trying to get the tunnel access, but also I feel like this is really like drastic of a change. I don't know, maybe Callum's just a nice dude, but in my mind I feel like something is just a little bit fishy. I don't know why. I know that Callum is a mind reader, but I feel like maybe he's like, his powers have gotten stronger, or he's been hiding this whole time, that he's actually like a mind controller. I don't know, I'm getting the vibe that something weird is happening. So besides that, when Paedyn is escorted out of the room, Kai's behind her and he like wheels her off to this like broom closet, janitor's closet. They have a cute little moment in the dark and they're about to kiss until I think her name's Ellie, is that who it was? Who was like, not Paedyn's servant, but like kind of like her maid. She walks in on them and she's like, oh, I didn't see a thing. Don't worry, it's fine. I didn't see anything. And she's like, oh, girl, you know what you saw. Okay, this looks terrible. Anyway though, Paedyn has kind of come around to this idea because when she talks with Kit and Callum and Kai later on, Kit tells her this is for the greater good of the nation again, being like, this is the only way we can bring our people together. And obviously Paedyn wants ordinaries to live a good and happy life because the life she was living was not good whatsoever. So she's like, you know what, it's fine, I'll make the sacrifice, I will marry you, we'll get married. And Kai's like, oh, that's a dagger to the chest, because he's like, girl, we just professed our love to each other before you got reeled in here. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. And then so basically they just went on a little parade walk right now through the elite's like neighborhood or something. They're in this little carriage and it's Kit, Kai, and Paedyn in there. They're having a grand old time in there. They're telling stories and they're all like having a nice little jolly laugh. Kai's like, oh, Kit's showing me sides of himself before when he was just my brother before he turned into the king. And then Paedyn's all like, we have to go to the slums. Like our parade can't end in the elite's neighborhood. Like we gotta go to the slums. So as they're going the little carriage ride through the slums, you know, a bomb goes off. Okay, literally out of nowhere. Bunch of people die. Kai runs out there. He's trying to do all of his enforcer duties and like get all the guards. There's like smoke everywhere. Paedyn runs out of the carriage trying to help this poor kid who's like bleeding to death. Kid's just in the carriage like, oh, yeah, that's not really good. It's this whole thing. And then next chapter, after that whole thing happens, Paedyn's in her room. She's all sad, super depressed, just thinking about how elites are just gonna forever hate her. Even the king's court, the representative came in and he was like, the people don't like you, girl. Like, you literally killed our king. We loved you at one point, our silver savior, and now things have changed. No one's feeling Paedyn's vibe. And people are also not on Kit's whole idea of, we're gonna reunite the nation. They're just, no one's loving this idea. So Paedyn's in her room. She has the nightmare about Adina being killed. Oh, because Belair, the girl who killed Adina, is literally in the castle being guarded by Lenny in the room, and Kit put Lenny there knowing that since her and Lenny are friends, she wouldn't go behind his back to go in there and kill Blair. And Kit's like, we can't kill Blair because her father's very influential, like blah blah blah, you can't go around killing people now that you're gonna be a queen. I'm like, Kit, that's dirty work, because you know what? She should have the chance to kill her. I just hope Paedyn gets her revenge. Maybe when Lenny's not looking, she can go in there, she can sneak in and maybe, you know, do some stuff with that dagger girl. Go in there. That's what I'm hoping for anyway, but I digress. Anyway, she's having this nightmare. She wakes up from it. Kai literally broke down the door trying to get to her because the door was locked. And he's like, are you okay? This whole moment happens. He takes her back to the willow tree and they're hanging out there, and it's just such a cute moment. Kai's like, there's so much that I want for us. There's so much that I want to do together with you, but like it can't happen because the ring that's on your finger. I don't know what's gonna happen. They're just gonna keep meeting in the shadows at night or whatever. I'm only just a little bit into the book, so things are probably gonna get crazier. Oh, and then the very last chapter I just read was in, what's his name? Edric's point of view, which was the king, and he's basically just talking about how like his father was terrible to him. He wasn't very smart. He didn't really know what he was doing when he entered into being king. And we also get this line right here that I'm just like, okay, what? She goes, all you do is protect me, and of course I'm grateful for that, but Iris raises a hand, somehow encapsulating the entire kingdom with a single gesture. But it has been years since the people have heard about me, seen me. For all they know, I died shortly after giving birth to Kit. So you're telling me that Kai and Kit are actual brothers, like full-on blood brothers and not half brothers? I don't know. What I'm gathering from that is that they're actual blood brothers. What? But that's crazy if that's true, because this was just kept a secret. No one knew. Dude, I have no clue. But anyway, I'm gonna keep reading and I will let you guys know what happens. Also, can we appreciate how gorgeous the Walmart version of this book is? That is quite literally everything, okay? That's gorgeous. I will say though, it's not fair how the UK always gets the better books, the better versions and editions. Have you seen the Fearless version for that? It's gorgeous. I want that one so bad. Anyway, I'm gonna keep reading and I'll let you guys know what happens in the next update. They want to send her back to the trials. Why? I think she's proven herself enough, don't you think? I think so. She literally killed your evil king for you. Y'all should be thanking her now. And also, the trials with who? Who is she gonna go in there with? Or are they just gonna be like sending her through like an obstacle course by herself? What? So these trials are just gonna be for her and nobody else. They're just gonna be like her queen trials. And everyone's just like, cool, yeah, I can't wait to throw her in there because they're hoping that she dies. Last time Kai saved her so many times. Yes, they were kind of like partners in it and she saved him, vice versa. But he also did save her many times from dying. So I'm very curious to see how this is gonna pan out. I'm trying to remember because I read like a couple chapters and I didn't update. So now I need to go back and update you guys on what happened. They make their announcement to the royal court, you know, her and Kit hand in hand. Kai's just standing there and he's just like, oh, that's my girl, but whatever. Paedyn's next trial starts in 3 days. So that night she's like, can't sleep. She's gonna go see Kai and start training. But when she's out there, she has to hide behind the bushes because Kit and Kai are talking and they're chit-chatting it up and they're like low-key talking about her. When Kit and Kai are talking, he's like, oh, you think you could still take me, brother? We haven't sparred since you found a better partner. Basically talking about Paedyn. And then Kai goes, come on, Kit. That was during the purging trials. Things haven't been like that for a long while. Besides, you're the one who's marrying her. This is like the first time I think they've like had this kind of conversation because they both kind of have like a little bit of a relationship with her. Obviously her and Kai's is way stronger, but you know, Kit was feeling something for her before everything went down in the last trial. And then Kit goes, it is what needs to be done. You understand that for the kingdom and for us. And then Kit's like, I won't make you hurt anyone else. It's for the kingdom, so you won't have to hunt ordinaries anymore. I won't strain our relationship and make you kill people for unnecessary reasons. So once again, it kind of patches up their little brotherly relationship. And then Kit is like, I want you to train some new recruits. I need you to start like building your army up again. Like, I want you to start training ordinaries. And he's like, I have some of them hidden in the dungeon from the last trial. Kai is all like, you know what, I'm really proud of you, brother, for turning a new leaf, fully changing your mentality. It's cute that they're back together as brothers and their whole relationship is kind of being fixed a little bit. But I think this still leads back to my idea about Callum mind controlling him a little bit, because I don't know, I'm getting the vibe that like if he trains all these ordinaries, Callum is low-key creating an army. So they're gonna learn from like the best fighter. Once they're trained, they're gonna overthrow them. And yes, Kit has turned a new leaf, but also maybe he's doing stuff that he thinks is right, but Callum has other plans. Once again, I could be wrong, but I'm also thinking we need a villain in this story, and the marriage can't be the only bad villainous thing here. We need a villain. We need someone to blame for this. It's gonna set things in motion. I think it's gonna be Callum, and I think Paedyn's not gonna know anything about this plan, or maybe she will later on, and then it'll be kind of like the first book again where she has to go behind someone's back, but then she's gonna be like, I don't want to do that. I know these people, I love them. I don't know, I'm thinking it's gonna be Callum. Anyway, Kit walks out and then Kai and Paedyn are left. He's like, I'm not gonna spar with you. I don't want to fight you, because he's like I told you, if you want me to fight you, I won't, Paedyn. I told you in the field of poppies how I would never do that again, that when I lay a hand on you, it would only ever be in a caress, and I plan to keep that vow. It's the only vow he'll keep, because he won't be making marriage vows. This is literally so terrible. It's fine. It's fine. They're gonna get together in the end. Everything will be fine. I know it will. And then he goes, my pretty Pae, tell me you miss me. So they end up talking about the trials, and he's like, I hate how you said yes to that. And she's like, I had to do it. You saw how they reacted. The royal court just does not like me. He's like, but what if you die? And she's like, yeah, just make me a martyr. It's fine. She's like, it's not just about me. It's not just about us. Like, I have to do this for a bigger purpose. He goes, fine, but it seems like you've already decided your fate and I won't be in it. And she goes, but I want you in it. We just need to be careful. Kit can't see us together. It will only make everything more complicated. Girl, I think he knows about your relationship. And then Kai's like, so we just need to pretend. That's just what we'll do, huh? For the rest of our lives, we'll just pretend. Then she ends up having dinner with Kit, and she's just like, I'm sorry for killing your dad. He doesn't really forgive her. She's gonna have to earn his trust back. And then Kit goes, this needs to work for Ilya, for everyone, but that doesn't mean we need to be anything more to one another than what we already are. And you know what? I'm fine with that. Yeah. Don't be anything romantic to each other. Don't be crossing any boundaries. You guys are besties. You guys are friends because her man is your brother, okay? I'd like to keep that relationship on lock. I don't need you guys to be doing anything. She's like, you know what? No, I won't accept that. I want to fix this. We used to be close, and I know it's my fault we no longer are, but if we're to spend the rest of our lives together, we might as well try to enjoy it. And then she grabs his hand. Paedyn, what are you doing? Don't be giving him false hope. Please, no. And he goes, but you already have that with Kai. And she goes, Kai is not who I'm marrying. And then he goes, but he wishes you were. Yes. We all do. Thank you for putting that out there. Paedyn goes, is that what this is about? Whatever closeness you believe me to have with Kai? What do you think it is, girl? It most definitely is. He goes, I know him, Paedyn, better than I have ever known anyone. Don't think I haven't noticed his smothered feelings for you, even after everything. Can you just let them be together then? She's like, whatever there was between Kai and I ended when he brought me over here. He's like, yeah, I was kind of surprised he actually did go through with it, bringing you back. And she's like, it's whatever, it's over now. We know it's not, girl. Don't be lying, okay? We know it's not. He knows it's not too. We see the way you guys look at each other. The servants, the maids, the whole castle knows. You guys are not good at keeping secrets. And he ends up telling her that the trials will be in 2 places that she does not know. So the Scorches and the Shallows. But yeah, her and Kit just have dinner with each other and they're just being friendly. But I'll update you guys in the next one.
He was just about to tell her that he loves her, but then she's like, no, don't say that, because literally everybody who's told me that has left me and they've died. She's like, I need you more than I need to hear those 3 little words. You're kidding. She's just about to go into the trials right now. I'm pretty sure. He was gonna say, I love you. This is monumental. He said falling in love with you at the poppy field, but he never said the 3 words. And he was about to. And she knew too. She knew. I know this lighting is so terrible, but I forgot to bring my camera again. So Paedyn just went to the Scorches for her very first trial. She has to get there, cross the Scorches, go into the Sanctuary of Souls to find the first queen's coffin, which nobody has been able to find before. Go in there and steal her crown, which is like what the bandits have always wanted to do but never been able to find it. She has to be back by midnight. And if I remember correctly, Scorches being like, I don't know, like a week-long trip. So she has to do that by midnight, bring it back. And then they'll be like, yay, you survived your first trial. If she fails any of the trials, she's not fit to be a queen. And I'm assuming that means they're just gonna, you know? So she's just going into these caves, right? Right? And it's pitch black. That is so scary. Now, when I was little, I went into one of those like cave explorer things. I forgot where it was, but it was like a family trip. And I remember our like cave tour guide who was like manning the little boat or whatever. He was like, I'm gonna turn off the lantern really quick so you guys can just see how dark and scary the tunnel really is. And if you had your eyes open or closed, it was basically the same exact thing. It was pitch black in there. It was darkness. So reading that, I'm like, oh, okay, wait, I can relate because I've seen that in real life and there was water underneath us, which is like even all the more scarier. I'm reading this and I'm like, I don't think I'd be able to do that. I'm out. I'm not queen. Like, kick me to the curb. I can't do that. She gets into this one cave. There's like wood underneath the dirt. She ends up falling through it. She finds the tomb. She gets her dagger and she pops it open. And she's literally just touching the past queen's bones. That's so creepy. And then she ends up getting the crown. And that's where I left off. But yeah, I'm gonna keep reading and I'll let you guys know what happens.
Okay, I have to whisper because everyone's asleep. I should be asleep, but I was reading, okay? And Paedyn got back with the crown, and she came in the room all battered and bruised and bloody. Everyone was like, oh, girl, we expected you to die. The kids in the room, all of the royal court's in there. She walks up to the front and puts the crown on her head, and then she just walks out. Queen, literally. Kit walks out there with her. Kai's like fuming, jealous, seeing Kit and Paedyn in the hallway. He's like, Kit, they're waiting for you back in the room, and no one's happy. You should go in there. So then it's just him and Paedyn out there. He takes her back to her room, cleans all of her wounds for her. They're getting ready for the ball to celebrate her coming back, even though everyone there hates her. But as she's getting ready for this ball, Ellie walks in on her and Kai. She's like, oh my gosh, I love seeing you so happy. It kind of reminds me of your friend, Adina, you know, when she had her man here with her. Our man. Paedyn's like, what man? I've been waiting for this moment. I was like, Mac is finally gonna get mentioned. Yes. But also before that, we just got Edric's POV again. And it's him after Iris had just given birth to a baby that literally killed Iris. But it was a girl. The baby was born powerless. You know who else is powerless? Paedyn. But like, then that would make her and Kit full
Okay, so they had fun at the ball. She might have had a little too much fun at the ball, and she drank like 70,000 glasses of champagne. Not really, but a lot, okay? Kai was basically just following her around the whole night, carrying her shoes, and she's just so drunk at this point. Her and Kai are just like flirting on the dance floor, and then Kit comes to talk with Kai, reminiscing on their old times as going to balls together, just having no worries in the world. Everyone's having a great time, and then Paedyn's like, come on guys, let's all dance. And then so she grabs both of them, and she's like, guys, I'm making my first decree as queen. We're gonna have a tradition. I'm gonna dance with both of the guys. And so she has Kit and Kai on just like different arms, and they're just dancing together. And then the court actually has fun, and everyone joins in with her. And then later on, Kai carries her back to her room. She's like, I want to tell you a secret, but I'm scared. He offers to say it for me. I nod. He whispers a 3-worded secret. You found my shoes for me. He says he loves me again and again. Literally so cute. So they haven't like officially said it because she was like drunk during all of this, but like, oh my god, it's so cute. And then in the morning she wakes up and I'm like, oh, Kai's there with her. No, it's Kit, and he's like giving her this smoothie. But now Kit gave his little announcement of her next trial. She's gonna be going to the Shallows, okay, which nobody's ever really survived the journey, and she has to, what did he say? Paedyn will be traveling across the shallow sea to befriend the city of Isram, I think that's how you pronounce it, and open future trade between us, which is like low-key a death sentence. That's where we're at right now. And I do think I saw a little spoiler, but it also isn't really a spoiler because I was already on that mindset, and it was something along the lines of like Kai having a different father. So Edric is not his dad, and Kit and him are like not brothers at all because their moms are completely different, and I guess their dads are completely different, but like Paedyn and Kit are siblings. I don't know, that's what I saw, and I was like, well, I was already on this thought process, but also like I didn't know that for a fact. But I don't know if that's like the big aha moment in here, but I did read a TikTok comment and I was like, I should not have read that. But yeah, I've been reading this so slow, guys. Literally, school is killing me. It's the last couple weeks of the semester, so we're just working on finals, and this is my last semester before I graduate. Kind of scared, really scared, but we'll just see where the wind takes us. So I read a little bit more. I don't know why I keep doing updates in the car, but this is like the only time I get to actually like read, sit down with myself, and you know. But after the meeting, they're all sitting in Kit's office, and Kai was flipping out. He's all like, she can't go, she's not gonna make the trip, there are sea monsters, I guess. But Kai was like, okay, well, I'm going with her. I'm not gonna let her go alone. Kit's like, don't worry, she's gonna have a bunch of elites with her, like, I'll ensure that they'll be on their best behavior. And Kai's like, how can you ensure that? They could just throw her overboard or be like, oh, she ran away or whatever, and then we would never know what happened to her. So Kai's like, I'm going on that boat. I'm going on this trip. He's like, these are deadly waters. The last time someone charted those waters, it was Jax's parents, and they died. And he's like, hey, it's my duty as enforcer. I'm supposed to be here for the king and the queen. So I'm going on that trip with her. Kit's like, fine, you can go. Oh my gosh, and then after the meeting, he ran into Blair in the hallway. She's like, I can't stay here forever. Yes, you can. And Blair's over here like trash talking Paedyn, being like, oh, she's a slummer, all this kind of stuff. Kai's like, don't ever say that about her again. Used her telekinesis powers and like shoved her up against a wall, and I'm like, thank you so much. I thought they were gonna get in a big tussle, but then she's like, oh my gosh, you're in love with her. That's what it is. She's like, what, are you just gonna share her with Kit for the rest of your life? Stop. And then Lenny comes back and he's like, girl, get behind your door. Later in the night, I thought that Paedyn was gonna go see Kai, but no, she goes to see Kit, and they eat chocolates in his room. We all know that Kai has her heart, it's fine, but they go on like a little picnic in his room. It's like a bonding thing. She's like, if he's gonna be my husband, I at least need to, you know, be friendly with him. We need to get back on the same page. They both admit that they're not the same person that they used to know. And so she finally showed him the scar, and he's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. I never want to be like him. Like, I'm not under his control anymore. So yeah, they just eat chocolates in his room, and she's like, I can't wait to see the king that you're going to become, because I know you'll be nothing like your dad. So I'm sitting here reading my book. I have 4 hours to waste. I just finished my first final of the day at 8 o'clock in the morning. We got out of there at 9, even though it went till 10:30, but that's okay. I can sit here and read. So my next class starts at 1:30, and that's my other final. But I'm reading. And my teacher gave us bagels too. The blueberry bagel. Never had them before, but it's actually really tasty. Anyway, they're in the shallows. In the shallows. They're on the boat. It's really rocky. They're not really loving it. Callum gave her her father's old books. So she's been reading to Kai every night. They're just cuddled up in his or her room. And then they go dancing like on the deck and everyone's just kind of staring at them. But one night, they're sleeping in his room. He gets drugged and have an illusion of Paedyn right next to him. He obviously is like, that's fake. I'm counting her freckles. There's less than 10 there. So that's not her. He runs out to the deck and 3 guys have her all tied up and everything, ready to throw her overboard. He like kills all of them. But then there's one guy who's like a telly. He's like, I'd rather kill her than see an ordinary on the throne. Throws her overboard right as Kai shoves a knife through his body. She's literally bound, tied up. She can't swim. He reaches for the telly's power, but obviously the dude dies halfway through. So he has to like reach over and grab her over the edge. He saves her. Anyway, he gets back to the room and she's like, you just saved my life again. He's like, there's no way that nobody knew this was gonna happen. They probably all planned it. So in the morning, they go to like the captain's suite or like, I don't know, like a little dining breakfast hall and they're eating with him and he's just like, I had no clue about any of that. I'm sorry there was a storm. Kai's like, sure, okay. And then as they get outside, he's like, the captain's a hyper. He heard everything going on and he decided to ignore it. So, bro was probably part of the plan. And there was also, when they were like talking or dancing or something like that, Kai was like, oh, there's this story about this other land or something. Death separating lovers or something. I don't know, okay? It was kind of weird. It summed up really weird. But I hope they don't die. I hope one of them doesn't die. I hope Kai doesn't die. And then they're like separated, or maybe they'll like both die and then like be okay because they'll be like together in the end. I don't know what that was alluding to. But like, update, they got to Isram and they met with the queen and the queen's all like, oh, you guys are finally here now after all these years of being shunned out. Your king was an asshole. Hey, Paedyn, like, she's like, I heard the rumors about you, Paedyn. And so you killed the king, right? Now, how do you have that rock on your finger? Because that does not add up. Does everyone know it, Ilya? Like, what happened, what you did? And she's like, yes, they know. Okay, trust me, like, it looks bad, but like, it's fine. She's like, our new king, Kit, he wants to like fix things. She's like, Kit, he's probably just as bad as the king, like, whatever. She's like, no, I'm here for me. I am ordinary. I want to help the ordinaries. It's our plan to unite, but it's me that wants all this. Like, it's my plan. She's like, okay, you remind me a lot of myself, so here's what's gonna happen. She's like, I'll give you guys 3 days here to like fix up your ship, but only you will be able to live in the castle. Everyone else, all the elites you brought with you, they can go live on the ship. She's like, I'll open up trade, but I'm doing it for you and me, the ordinaries, not for Ilya. I'm not for your king. So, but it's fine though, because they ended up getting that trade agreement, and that's all that matters. So on the second night they're there, obviously Kai and Paedyn are split up, but Kai ends up climbing a tree and like knocking on Paedyn's window and spend the night together. Oh my gosh, when they wake up in the morning, the queen is literally there. Kai's still in her bed. The queen's there with her cup of tea. She's like, hello. And he's like, I'm just doing my job. And she's like, sure, I didn't think this was part of the job description. I think that's so funny. And he's like, this is just what I do. I'm just the enforcer. And she's like, does your brother know about you guys? And then she's like, you have to pick. Duty and love do not go hand in hand. You can never truly have both. You got to decide. Do you want the power or do you want the girl? And she's like, okay, you can leave now. I have to talk with the queen. We're gonna like have a little chit chat, girls tea time. So Paedyn's literally still asleep on the bed. But anyway, she's talking with Paedyn. She's like, so tell me about it. Tell me all the juicy, gory details. She's like, is it true that you stabbed the king? It was just funny because she was like, I wanted to do that. I wanted to kill him. I thought about it for so long, but I'm glad you did it, girl. I'm glad he's dead. Anyway, they're back on the ship now. Now we're fighting because Kai's telling Paedyn about the conversation that he had with the queen. She asked if Kit knew about us, and then Paedyn's like, us? Girl, there's an us. There's a you guys. Like, you guys are a couple. We've been new for $2 already. She literally is just like, there is no us. There can never be an us, Kai. Not really. Why are you saying that? You're being so mean to him. This queen seemed to think as much. Yeah, Kai, you know it's true. You've always known it was true. This is a fantasy. Bitch, what? He goes, I'll watch you two look down at me from the dais. Nothing more than a weapon you can wield, just like the king that you killed had. Then she says this, what do you think we were going to do? Hide for the rest of our lives beneath the willow tree? You did not need to say that at him. That was uncalled for. Just a little bit, girl. He goes, well, that's where I'll be, hiding from the royal couple. You know what, me too. I'll be hiding with you, Kai. Don't want to see that. No. Now they're both just trying to cut each other up. And maybe I should distance myself from this distraction. Maybe you should. Fine. Fine. No, you guys are about to battle a sea monster right now and then realize, oh, I'd rather not be mad at each other. Like, I can't die without saying that I love you and want to be with you. Like, that's what's gonna happen. That's gonna be the little wake up that happens right now. So it is true. Kai is not Edric's son at all. And Kai and Kit are not actually brothers. Like, whatsoever. So Oliver was Edric's consultant. Oliver brings in his daughter, Mila, to be like, hey, I have a solution to our problem. I'm offering you my daughter here. And so what's gonna happen is that we can say that Iris died those 2 years ago, but you were grieving and then you took up a wife, you guys had a kid, so you can announce it to the people instead of being like, yeah, our queen died 2 years ago and I just didn't say anything. So they needed to have some sort of reason for why they didn't tell everybody. Mila's like, I have a son and he's barely a year old and he's super powerful, like unlike anything you've ever seen before. And he's like, perfect, I can mold him into a great weapon. Sure, I'll take your kid. We'll have this plan all set out. So mental gymnastics about this family tree that's going on, but also that means that Paedyn's older than Kai by like a year. Not that that matters, but I always thought that Kai was a little bit older than Paedyn, but no. And Mila, she was just okay with him beating him up and like putting him through all of this stuff to make him stronger, whatever. You just let that happen and there's no attachment there whatsoever. Like, that's not his dad, blood relation, nothing. She's gonna die though. She's on her deathbed. She needs to get these family secrets, these scandals out there into the world, because Kit needs to know that he cannot marry his sister. Like, you can't marry your sister. That's not what's gonna happen. But you know who she can marry? Is Kai. I was right. They did fight the beast in the waters, and it did bring them together. I knew it was. Everyone's trying to throw spears at it. Everyone's throwing like all their power. It's not working. He's trying to keep Paedyn protected and like push her back into her room. The monster grabs him, dragging him by his feet, and then he like hits him up a couple times and then tosses him in the ocean. He uses a Telly's nearby power and grabs a rope, hoists himself over. Paedyn's right there and she's like, you know what? I want to hide underneath the willow tree with you. It's us. She's like, I can't be without you. And I'm like, I knew this was gonna happen. That's right. She's like, I can't live without you. Oh my gosh. Paedyn's like, this is my trial. I must defeat the beast. And he's like, what are you doing? Come back here. And so she grabs a spear and flings it in the monster's eye, and then it kind of just wiggles back into the ocean. They're like, hey, silver savior, so they're all like doing a chant for her. They're on their way back home. The ship is completely destroyed though. I don't even know how they make it back. So they dock and everyone's waiting for them. Kit's there, Jax is there, runs up and gives Kai a big hug. He's like, I thought you were gonna die, man. And then her and Kit lace their hands together and they go walking back to the castle. So that's that. And he's like, you're gonna be a great queen. It looks like you can handle yourself. Is someone gonna tell them that they're brother and sister?
Oh my gosh. Adina and Mac finally met. Yes. So in the middle of the night, she went back to Lou to go visit their old fort. And guess who was there? Mac. He's like, it's you. And she's like, who are you? And then he was like, I'm so mad at you. And she's like, I'm mad at myself. I couldn't save her. And then they both bonded over it. He's like, my Dina, I couldn't save her. She's like, she was my A. And she was his Dina. And then we go to the next chapter. It's Kai. He slid a note underneath Paedyn's door, and he's like, Kit's been trying to keep us separated. I know my brother, and this is what he's trying to do. So he's like, we must talk like this in private. So they're sending letters back to each other underneath each other's doors. Super cute. And she's like, I would have ran away with you in the poppy field, and we could have had a life together. I am absolutely confused. Paedyn was walking in the hallway. She saw Blair. She threw a dagger at her. Blair stopped it, and then they ran into her room. There were candles everywhere. Lenny tried to stop her. A candle fell, and the whole place started burning up. Paedyn killed Blair. What? Honestly, I thought the whole thing with Paedyn and Blair was a dream at first, because I was like, what's going on? I feel like we kind of just glossed over this really fast, and it kind of came out of nowhere. She goes to see Kai afterwards. Kai's like, what's wrong? And she's like, it didn't make me feel any better. Like, obviously it didn't fill the void of Adina's death. That made me feel like a monster. Like, I literally pushed her face into the fire and watched her face, the skin on her face, like, melt away. Girl, he's like holding her while she's crying. He senses Kit about to walk in, so he pushes her in his closet. Kit's like, okay, we're gonna have Paedyn's trial tomorrow. It's gonna be in the bowl, and it's supposed to be unexpected. Obviously, Paedyn hears the whole thing, and then Kit starts acting super weird. He's like talking to himself saying it's not time yet. I don't know. And he just looks like more sick every time. And then when Kai's also reaching for Kit's power, he's like, something feels very off. Maybe like there's a new plague or something and it's like regressing and taking back the power. I don't know. I knew it. What the? This doesn't make any sense. I'm telling you. Oh my gosh. Callum must be mind controlling Kit because what the fuck? You're telling me he put Kai in there in the bowl with Paedyn. She gets walked out to the bowl, right? And Kit's up there. I'm like, where's Kai? Kit's getting his voice amplified. He's like, now we have to challenge Paedyn with the trial of brutality. Then she'll be queen, okay? She'll be worthy of being queen. And so he's like, let's bring out your opponent. Guess who's in there? Of course it's Kai. You're kidding. No. It's a fight to the death. Like, he won't do it. She won't do it. Does he really want to lose Paedyn? Or does he really want to lose his brother? No. What? And if he has to use elite powers, of course Paedyn's not winning. I'm sorry, girl. I'm on your side, but all elite powers against you. And you got nothing. I'm sorry. Like, you're probably gonna die. I'm flabbergasted, even though I knew this was gonna happen. Maybe this is good, though. They could just Romeo and Juliet it. Or Hunger Games it. Like, how Peeta and Katniss were like, let's both eat the berries. You know, obviously that didn't happen, but what if they're both like, hey, let's just do each other or to ourselves in the name of love. In the name, you know, like, why not? Like, I knew this was gonna happen because the Waterstones edition, the inside cover jacket, the fan art of Paedyn in the bowl about to fight somebody. And I think it was Kai on the other side. Dude, what? Oh my gosh. He's like, we need to make this look convincing. We have to put a show on for them. He's like, so this means stay alive no matter what I throw at you. And then he goes in for a punch. I'm sorry. Why is he taking this so seriously? She's like, I've never seen him not have a soft spot for me. Maybe he's being mind controlled to do this. Like, how else would he have been convinced to get into the bowl with her? This makes no sense. It's also kind of giving Divergent when 4 is under the serum and 4 and Triss are fighting, because there's no way on earth he would be fighting her. He's like, it needs to be convincing. But like, are you guys gonna fake a death or something? That's not even possible, because if you fake a death, one of you has to like stay dead. This is stressing me out. He's throwing all these powers at her, and she's like, he has no remorse for any of this. Like, this is not him. There's no sympathy left for me in him at all. He's like blowing up the sand that's in the bowl. She just fell into one of the pits in there, and now the sand's toppling over her. She's like yelling for him and screaming, and then it switches to his POV. Pay, you have to fight back. That's all it said on the page. I have no words. What just happened? Is he actually dead? He brought out his sword, about ready to bring her forward to like impale her with the sword. But then he put his hand down, stopping it from happening. And she was like watching the internal battle, like struggle happen on his face. He didn't want to kill her. He just starts crying and says, I'm sorry. He's like, follow my lead. Before, as he's about to like punch and stuff at her, he's like warning her, like jab, right hook, whatever, so that she could dodge out of the way. A dagger gets thrown into the mix. This is very much Divergent, where she points the gun at herself when 4 is on top of her. She has the dagger and she points it at herself, and she's like, it's okay, I'm ready. I want to die like the way all the people I love did. And then he's like, no, it needs to be me. They're both trying to like pull a dagger and kill themselves. And then the dagger gets plunged into his chest. He's like, take the dagger, have something to remember me by. No, sir, we want you. Oh my gosh. She's like, can we get some help? Like, why is no one helping? She looks up at Kit and she's like, you did this. This is all you. In his last moment, she's just yelling like, I love you, I love you. Someone comes up behind Paedyn and puts a cloth over her mouth, and everything goes black. Like, now Curly's getting drugged. We got the chloroform up in here. Like, what's happening? I don't believe that Kai's dead. Is this a vision? Was this a test? Like, if she would kill him, like,
update, I've continued reading, and that was a whirlwind of what I was reading that night. Oof. Oh my goodness. So after that, Kai and Paedyn were together, you know, and then they went to go see Kit. And Kit was like, I'm sorry I had to put you guys through that. We didn't want you to see the whole thing. We knew you wouldn't have agreed to it, so we drugged you. And then we had an illusionist cast an illusion over a guy who was fighting Paedyn. And obviously this guy had the same exact powers as Kai. Guess who it was? It was Mac. Why? I guess he wanted to die in the same way that Adina died, which is like also what Paedyn wanted too. So when they were fighting, she was like, oh, it makes sense why he like actually wanted to kill me. It seemed like it wasn't you like at all. And so yeah, they went to the cell afterwards and it was Mac's body with the dagger literally still in him. Why did Mac need to die? We literally just got introduced to Mac and they finally bonded. Now he's dead. I get that he wanted to die the same way that Adina did, but like, really? Then they had like a whole ceremony thing in the throne room. Paedyn walked in and they were like, oh, so he didn't die, so like she actually failed her last trial. And Paedyn's like, I don't think so. She's like, do you want me to fight you? I'll fight you. Anyone in this room, go ahead right now. She's like, I am to be your queen. And they're all like, okay, mouths shut. She scared them all. So, and then Kit's like, yeah, we're gonna be married in 3 days time. 3 days. I still have this much of the book left and they're like 1 day away now. I'm sorry. What? She's trying on wedding dresses. Kai walks in. He's like, this is causing me so much pain. I need to leave. Bye. And then he goes to talk to his mom. And then Paedyn also asked him to walk her down the aisle because that's like her dad now, father figure. And then I guess, I didn't know this, but I thought that he always knew that Paedyn's dad was not her real dad. Because he was like, when he saw her in the wedding dress, like fittings for it, he was all like, oh my gosh, you look just like your mother. And she's like, oh yeah, by the way, I know. She's like, I saw my dad's journals. I know that my dad was not my real dad. And he's like, what? I had no clue. Like, I only saw pictures a couple times of your mom, so I thought you looked just like her. And I'm like, I don't know how that, because how can you think that that was her mom when like it wasn't, but like maybe the pictures he had like were actually of her, the queen, and like that's the small glimpses that he saw. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into that and it means absolutely nothing. Whatever. They got married the night before the wedding. Kai and Paedyn slept together underneath the willow tree. The morning of the wedding, she's getting ready. She reads a letter that Kai wrote to her, and he's basically just being like, I'm forever yours, I love you, all this stuff. Kate comes knocking on her door and is like, here's a jewelry box, I want you to wear something from it. It was my mother's. She doesn't have time to open it up because Callum walks in and he's like, it's time. She's like, maybe we'll do it for the second wedding. I bet you something is in that jewelry box. You know what? The truth. The minute she gets to the doors, she's like, I don't want this. I don't love him. The door's open. Kid's staring at her. He looks like he doesn't want to be there either. She's flipping out. They get there and he's like, I do. She's scrambling in her brain. She's like, I'm waiting for someone. Guy. Or something to stop this from happening. Then she says, I do. As they're walking out, he's there at the doorway. He's huffing and puffing because he just ran from the willow tree, mind you, to be there to stop and be like,
something comes back to Kit. Maybe it's like a sickness. So Paedyn gets to Kit, tells him everything really fast. Callum comes walking in, and then Kit's like, dude, get out of my head. And then he kills Callum right away. Kai comes walking in, and he's like, whoa, what the hell just happened here? So Paedyn tells him really fast what happened, and then he's like, oh wait, holy shit, you guys are related. One of the guards or whatever is like, okay, we gotta get you guys to Lou. And then they're like, but we can't get married. We're half siblings. We all just heard this. And then they're like, nah, we need to show a united front. You guys are literally already married. There's no way we can break you guys up now. Callum literally made Paedyn queen for a reason. I think there's something planned at Lou. I don't know, to kill them all or something. So we found all of that out. And Callum just died like that. And then, okay, off to Lou. What? I feel like we're glossing over things right now, guys. You guys are related. No. Kai's all happy. He's like, there's no way you guys are getting married. Wait, why is Kai so happy? He thinks that the king is still his dad. So that would make them all have siblings now. There's so much happening with this family tree. It's crazy.
Okay guys, I'm finally gonna sit down and we're gonna finish this book. I only have the smallest sliver left and I'm kind of sad I don't want it to end. I know I say this about like all books, but like I don't want it to end. This is one of my favorite series, but we have to know what happens. So the very last thing that I read was, oh okay, so they had their second ceremony of their wedding in Lute. Everything went fine. I don't know why I thought there was gonna be like something going on, because there was like that explosion that happened the one time they were there. I don't know what that was about. So that's why I thought there was going to be some sort of like plan set up, because Callum's like, yeah, I made you queen for a reason. I don't know. After everything went fine at their wedding, they were in Gail's kitchen and then they were chit-chatting, and then Kai was like, wait, this doesn't make sense. How am I a year older than Paedyn? You know, like the age doesn't make sense. The math is not mathing here. So he was like, we have to go find the secret documents. And so him and Paedyn go to Iris's room. In there, obviously they found the documents that were like, she passed away giving birth to Paedyn. And obviously there's no mention of Kai. So he's like, why don't we just go straight to the source? Let's go see my mom. Even though she's on her deathbed still, they're grilling her, asking questions. And she's like, okay, actually, here's what happened. She tells him everything. That's pretty much where I'm at. And then Kit is also really mad still at Paedyn for the fact that they're siblings and she's the wedge in between him and Kai. Which, like, I get it, but why did you want to marry her then? I feel like the minute they found out, they should have been like, let's get an annulment. This doesn't make sense. I just really wish that she opened up that jewelry box before she went out to the ceremony, because there's no way in hell they would have gotten married. Which I'm like, is he like low-key in love with his brother? No, but like, you married your sister, so I really don't know. Kit's just really jealous because him and Kai, they were always each other's number one, and now for Kai it's like low-key Paedyn, and so he doesn't know how to deal with that. So much has just happened in like the matter of 4 pages. First of all, the plague was man-made. And that's like the big secret that Adam knew. Basically, they were trying to create Captain America. They tried to create serum thing, whatever, to try to help their soldiers become like super strong, but then somehow it got out, and then it ended up spreading against the whole kingdom, and then it made some people powerful elites and some of them ordinary. This is just crazy. So that's like the secret that gets passed down from king to king, and so like Kit found that out, and he had been working with Cal. I really don't know. Anyway, Kit wants to make the serum again and infect all of the other kingdoms with the plague, because he wants to be an even better king than his father and write him out of history books and rule every kingdom on Earth, I guess. Why? This is his way of being better than his dad, is like, let me rule over every kingdom that's ever existed in our worlds. Like, what? And the thing is about the plague is that it kills, I don't know, half the population that doesn't survive it, and then if they do, they either turn elite or ordinary. But like, so you're not even going to guarantee that everyone is elite, but I guess he would just kill off all the ordinaries then, so just to ensure that elites are there. I don't know. Kit even says that he doesn't care if ordinaries live or die, whatever. He just wants to take the plague and like bring it to every other kingdom. And then he's also trying to get into like a little bit of a showdown with Paedyn, being like, you want my throne, I can't let a princess dethrone me. He's all like, she's the problem, she's the reason everything has gone wrong in our lives, like everything bad happened when she got here. He's all in his mind right now. They keep saying that his mind is frayed, and now he has like these weird like veins, dark veins, and coughing up black blood or something. I don't know what's going on with him. He's got like the venom look going on. He's like, the trials, I was hoping those would kill you off, Paedyn. Like, that's the whole point of the trials. He really just wanted her to die. He's like, I needed you to help unite everyone, but like, also, if you died in the trials, like, it would have been better. And that would have been an easy way to just like cut loose ends, you know? I'm sorry. What? He's changed
so much. And anyway, so Kit's like swinging his sword ready to just strike at Paedyn, and Kai's like in the middle of them being like, okay, let's just chill, let's calm down. He's like, don't do anything rash, we need to talk about this. And Kit's just like, I don't think so, it's already begun, it's already started. So the roses that Paedyn brought to Isram were all laced with the plague already. He's like, that'll be the very first place that gets hit with the plague, so like it's already out there now. Paedyn's like, I never wanted your throne, like I don't want this, and he just won't believe her. Kai's just trying to be the middleman and like stop whatever's happening. It's like, brother, we're gonna rule this together, we'll be better than father ever was with you by my side. And Kai's like, it sounds like you want me to just kill people off exactly like dad made me do. And he's like, no, we'll be doing it together. He sounds crazy right now. When he tries to lunge for Paedyn with his sword to try to kill her, Kai's in the middle of this and he's like blocking him, and he's like, brother, I will fight you all day about this. So they're probably gonna get into a little brawl right now. Damn. Okay, so Kai does kill Kit. Kit and Kai start sparring basically because they know each other's next moves, and they're just like going through the motions, and this is Kai's way to like distract Kit from wanting to kill Paedyn so bad. But Kit forgets a move and he doesn't dodge Kai's sword, and then Kai impales him and stabs him in the chest. He's trying to like find a healer with his powers like down the halls, but there's no healers around, so he sends Paedyn out to go find a healer, but it's too late. But as he's dying, Kai's like holding Kit, and they have this like really good heart-to-heart moment. He like smiles a little bit at Kai, and he's just like, I wrote you letters. He takes off his ring and he gives it to Kai as he's dying, and he goes, love each other for me. I didn't want him to die, but like he kind of had to. There was no other way for this to go. If that was his plan and he was like deteriorating, he had to die, but like not by Kai. The next chapter is Paedyn and Kai reading all the letters, and he's literally sick because he took some of the plague. He's like, they wouldn't test it on anyone else, so I decided to be the test subject. That's why he starts getting worse and worse, and that's why all of that happens to him. I mean, I didn't want him to die, but it just kind of, it had to happen. And then in the next chapter, when they're going over all of the letters, like it's just pages and pages, you can slowly see him like losing his sanity and like deteriorating each passage as it continues. And then we find out what happened with Ava. Like, she didn't die just because she was a sick young kid. Edric gave some of the serum to Ava, and that's why she died. Why would Edric give that to a kid? Oh, and then also on the ship to Isram, it was literally his idea to the captain. He's like, and if you want to throw her overboard, like that's perfectly fine, it's okay. Like, what? Paedyn and Kai dig a grave for Kit underneath the willow tree, so he's there with Ava. Kai is now the king, and then right after the coronation happens, he goes to the garden and the forget-me-nots are there, and he gets on one knee and asks her to marry him. It is exactly what needed to happen, and he gives Paedyn Kit's wedding band. Obviously, Paedyn says yes, and then also the Queen of Isram wrote a letter. The roses did not go out, everything is fine, everything is as it should be. Plague didn't reach any other kingdom, so that's good. They got married underneath the willow tree, just like this small group of people, and then he gives her a flower crown, the one that he said he was gonna make her in the last book. Cute ass wedding, adorable. Okay, 5 years later, they have a kid. A little girl with silver hair. They're so cute. They named their daughter Kit. Stop. Kit with one T. It's so perfect. They're in Tando. They're used to doing some like trade thing, whatever. They're just like checking out the place, and they're just walking through the street. It's just the three of them, all cutesy, a princess, a king, and a queen. And then out of the corner of her eye, she sees purple hair. Like she's wearing a cloak over her head, like trying to cover up her scarring, and her hair is still like peeking out a little bit through. But then when Kit yells like, mommy, daddy, look, she goes to look at her kid, and then she looks back and she's gone. Blair's gone. So like, was she seeing things like a ghost of Blair, or was Blair actually alive and just living in Tandor now? That literally ends with, I smiled back just as Adina taught me to. This life is sweet like honey. And then we get an epilogue in Kit's POV. And that's it. He's in the afterlife, and it's just darkness. It's a void, and he's talking to death itself, and death is a woman named Mara. He's like, where am I? And she's like, this is your peace. I didn't think you would want to see me. I can't stay long. How are you enjoying peace? And he goes, I'm still lonely. And she's like, you didn't have to be. This was your own doing. So he's just blindly walking around in this nothingness, whatever that is. He doesn't even know how long he's been there. These two orbs pop up in the sky that are like two voices that sound like vaguely familiar, but he doesn't know what they are. He's like, hi, who are you? And they're like, we thought you might like some company. And then he's like, I would, thank you. Do you think I'm a monster? And they're like, no, you're not. You're just your father's sins. And so he's like, will you stay with me and keep me company? One of the voices goes, until you see your brother again if you like. And then the other voice goes, we are all waiting for someone. So was it like Adina and Mac talking to him? Because they're waiting for someone too, you know, like they're waiting for Paedyn. So they're just sitting in this like abyss of like darkness, and then that's it. Like the book's over. Wait, it's over. That's crazy. Wow. I finished it. Here it is. The gang's all together. That's the series all complete. That was crazy. I'm glad they got to be together in the end. I didn't want Kit to die, but it just kind of needed to be like that. The first book had me in a chokehold and it stole my heart. I still think my favorite is the first book. There's something about it. I give Fearless probably a 4 out of 5. I do love it, obviously, because it's part of the trilogy, but I do think that maybe there were times things were rushed, I guess. We bring Mac back just to kill him off, like, what, a chapter later? And then the whole revealing of Callum being her dad, and then he just dies, like, a chapter later. Blair, too. Blair's kind of, like, in the background, and then it all comes to a head in, like, one chapter, which I thought was, like, a dream, because it happened so fast. And then, boom, Blair's gone. There are some parts that I do feel like were a little bit rushed, and then others maybe were dragged on a little bit, but I think it ended the way we all wanted it to end. We wanted them to be together, and they have a kid. I know this video is like super late too, and I know no one's probably gonna watch the whole thing. You know what? This was for me. I've been reading this book for so long too. Oh my gosh, what, like a month and a half now? That's crazy. So much has happened since then too, guys. I graduated college and all of that, but the book's finally done. I can't wait for the novella that's coming out. I don't even know what it's gonna be. I thought it was gonna follow up with Mac, but Mac's gone now, so everyone else is pretty much dead. Maybe it'll be like another story of Paedyn and Kai and like their life afterwards or something. I don't know, maybe when they're all dead in the afterlife, because now that's like something that we've explored a little bit. I still love this series. I'm so sad to see it end. Say what you want about this series, I loved it. I had fun reading it. It was just a fun entertainment read. But that about wraps it up for this reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's been a long time coming. It's probably gonna take me forever to edit this video too, so it'll be even longer, but I don't care. I just need to document my thoughts and really just finish out the series. Hope you guys enjoyed.